managerial economics, which is MMPC 010. Okay. Before going to class, I'm going to start the PPT. Okay, dear students, first of all, you would know what is managerial economics. So generally, managerial economics is the application of economic concepts and principles to solve some business problems and to make some different types of decision makings. And also, it will helps to managers understand how to allocate the resources and set prices and to optimize some different operations to maximize the profit while minimizing the expenses also. Essentially, it will fill the gap between economic theory and practical business management. So, let us take an example of if a company is deciding whether to increase its production of the product, then the managerial economics helps to assess the whether the extra costs of production will lead to enough additional revenue to make its worthfulness or not, like that. Okay, it involves concepts like supply and demand, cost analysis, and some pricing strategies to guide the decision making and also to make a better decisions. In these process, there are some elements also will be included like demand analysis and forecasting and production and cost analysis and also pricing decisions. Next, profit maximizations and also profit management, risk analysis, capital budgeting. All these elements will be included in taking the decision. Okay, this is nothing but managerial economics and its introduction. So, what is the fundamental nature of these managerial economics? So, generally, these fundamental nature of managerial economics can be understood through its core principles like you can see in the PPT microeconomic foundations, which means managerial economics is grounded in microeconomics theory. Like it will be focusing on the behavior of the every individuals and the firms, okay, in making the decisions regarding the allocation of some limited resources, which is nothing but microeconomics foundation. Coming to decision making focus, so in these generally this decision making focus is primarily concerned with some decision making processes within the company. So this includes decision related to production and decision related to pricing or related to investments and resource allocation to achieve the business objectives more efficiently, which is nothing but decision making focus. And coming to normative and descriptive, what is this normative and descriptive means? Managerial economics involved with both normative means what should be, okay, and what is descriptive means what is. This is analysis, okay. Generally, it provides normative guidelines for optimal decision making and also describes actual business practices and make market behaviors. This is nothing but normative and descriptive. Okay, coming to the interdisciplinary approach. So generally these interdisciplinary approach will integrates with concepts from various disciplines like such as finance, marketing departments, or some economic departments or operations research and moreover statistics to solve the complex business problems. This is nothing but the interdisciplinary approach. This is also one of the best or important fundamental nature of managerial economics. And coming to optimization and the efficiency, generally these optimization and efficiency is a key aspect to focus on optimizations by finding the best possible solutions given to constraints. Okay, here it will make sure that efficient use of resources and maximize of the value is nothing but the optimization and efficiency. Okay, next quantitative and analytical tools. Here, managerial economics heavily relies on the quantitative methods, like including some statistical analysis or mathematical modeling and econometrics to analyze the data and inform the decisions. This is quantitative and analytical tools. Next one is market and environmental analysis. What is this market and environmental analysis means? Generally, it will involve in analyzing the external business environment, like including some market structures also, and competitive dynamics and regular frameworks to understand their impact on organizational decisions. Is nothing but the market and environmental analysis. And the last one is strategic and tactical decision. So generally these strategic and tactical decision is aid to making both strategic and tactical decisions. So here strategic means long term and tactical means short term. So which is aligned with the overall goals of the organizations, is nothing but strategical and tactical decisions. By combining all these elements, managerial economics serves as the practical tool for managers to navigate the complexities of business environments and make some informed or effective decisions. Okay, next coming to the another topic. Next one is scope of the managerial economics. Here generally we all know that managerial economics is a application of some economic theories and methodologies, and to set some business management practices. Here the scope of the managerial economics will encompasses with various aspects, like including, you can see in PPT, which is demand analysis and forecasting. So what is this demand analysis and forecasting means? As I have mentioned in the introduction, so it is a one of the element in managerial economics to make a better decisions. So by understanding and predicting the consumer demand to make informed decisions about the production and pricing and marketing strategies is nothing but the demand analysis and forecasting. And coming to cost and production analysis, here analyzing the cost of the production and how they change with varying levels of outputs to achieve the cost efficiency and optimal production level is nothing but cost and the production analysis. Next one is pricing decisions and strategies. So here determining the best pricing strategies to maximize the profits within the organizations, or considering factors such as like competition or market demand and cost structures. This is nothing but the pricing decisions and strategies. Coming to profit management. Profit management means here maximize the maximizing the company's profitability by balancing all the revenues and some expenses or cost, and making some decisions about the resource allocation and investment or some or capital. This is all about profit management, maintaining the profit efficiently. Okay, maximizing these profit by lowering the resource allocations is nothing but the profit management. Coming to the capital budgeting, here evaluating the investment opportunities and making some decisions about long term capital expenditures to the sustainable growth and profitability is nothing but the capital budgeting. Next one is marketing structure and competitive analysis. Here, analyzing the nature of dynamics of different market structures, like example monopoly, oligopoly, perfect competition. Analyzing all these things to develop the competitive strategies is nothing but the market structure and competitive analysis. Next one is risk and uncertainty analysis. So, managing the risk associated with business decisions. In every company, whenever we take any decision, means we need to calculate what is the risk associated with that decision, particular decisions, and to make some market fluctuations to minimize the potential losses in the company is nothing but the risk and uncertainty analysis. Okay. And next, coming to the government and regulatory impact. Here, understanding the influence of the government policies and regulations, and also some economic conditions on business operations, and to make some different types of strategies is nothing but government and regulatory impact. And last one is strategic planning. So formulating long term strategies to achieve the organizational goals and to maintain a competitive advantage within the market is nothing but the strategic planning. All these nine are the scope of the managerial economics. Generally, these areas will collectively help the managers to make informed, rational decisions as well as the efficiency and profitability, and to make sustainability of the organizations or any company or the any firm. Okay, hope you clear with the scope of the managerial economics. Then we'll go to the another topic, managerial economics and some other disciplinaries. Here we all know that the managerial economics generally intersects with several other disciplines, enhancing its analytical framework and practical applications. So here some key related disciplines are there, which we will discuss now. Okay, microeconomics. Generally, microeconomics will provides the foundational theories of the supply, demand, cost, and some other market structures, which are more essential for understanding and predicting the business behaviors and market outcomes. Is nothing but the microeconomics. And coming to the macroeconomics, macroeconomics will offers insights to broader economic factors such as inflation, unemployment, national income, and physical and some monetary policies, helping managers anticipate and respond to economic trends and some other cycles is nothing but the macroeconomics. Coming to the finance. Here, finance will focuses on the management of the firm's financial resources, including all the investment decisions and also capital budgeting, risk and return managements, and valuations. Generally, these microeconomics will, sorry, one second. So, these microeconomics will employ financial principles to optimize the resource allocation and as well as investment strategies, and also statistics and econometrics. So, here it will supplies the quantitative tools and methods which is necessary for the data analysis, right? And as well as forecasting and testing economic models. Generally, these techniques will help managers to make data driven decisions and to evaluate the effectiveness of different strategies is nothing but the strategic management. Next one is operations research. Here, it will provide the advanced analytical methods for decision making. It will also includes the optimization and some simulations and also statistical analysis. Here, it will assist in solving the complex operational problems and improving efficiency in production and the logistics. Come to marketing. Generally, it will examine the consumer behavior in market segmentation and also product positioning and pricing strategies. Here managerial economics will integrate marketing principles to enhance the market analysis and strategic planning. Next one is accounting. It will includes in the measurement, processing, and communication of financial informations. And managerial economics uses accounting data to analyze the costs, revenues, and profitabilities, which is aiding in the financial decision making, is nothing but the accounting. Coming to the strategic management, here it will focuses on long term planning and competitive strategies formation, which is very much contributed by providing economical analysis and as well as forecasting to inform the strategic decisions, is nothing but the strategic management. And coming to the human resource management, generally it will deals with the recruitment, development, and also management of personnel. And here managerial economics will apply labor market theories and also incentive structures to optimize the human resource practices. And the last one is behavioral economics. It will explore how psychological factors affect economic decision making. Here, in these disciplines, will help managerial economics understand deviations from rational behavior and also to improve decision making process within the company. By integrating these concepts and methods from these related disciplines, managerial economics will provide, say, very much more perfect framework for addressing the complex business problems, and it will also as well as enhance the organizational performances also. Okay, coming to the next one. Mm, 1 second. The next one is the economic analysis. So what is this economic analysis? Generally, the economic analysis will involves in examining the allocations, distributions, and utilization of the resources, typically within the context of markets, to understand the mechanisms that which will drive economic behavior and outcomes. These analysis can be conducted at various levels, okay, including microeconomics, which will focuses on individual agents such as consumers or firms. The microeconomics, the name itself indicating the I after M, the I which will indicating individual agents. Okay, it will focuses on mainly individual agents such as consumers and firms. Okay, then and macroeconomics, which is focuses on aggregate economic variables such as GDP growth rate and unemployment and inflation, like this. Okay, these are the key methods used in economic analysis, including some statistical analysis. Here econometrics, cost benefit analysis, and modeling. The main goal of these economic analysis is to inform decision making by providing insights into how economic making by how decision economic decision is making by providing some insights into some economical system functions, how policies will impact economic performances and how resources can be optimally allocated, like this. Okay, next one is managerial economics and decision making. Here, uh, here there are some I will tell you some examples of decision makings in managerial economics by applying with these different types of decisions. Okay, coming to pricing decision. So what is pricing decisions? Generally, let us assume that a company may use price elasticity of demand to determine the optimal price point that which will maximizes the revenue without significantly reducing the sales volume, is nothing but pricing decisions. Okay, and next coming to the production decisions. So here You can assume a manufacturer might use some cost analysis to decide whether to invest in new technology that which will reduces the production cost over a long period of time. Okay, this is nothing but the production decisions and investment decision. Generally, a company may employ capital budgeting techniques to evaluate the feasibility and profitability of expanding into a new market or launching a new product line, which is nothing but investment decisions. And next one is risk management. Here, a business might use some scenario analysis and some sensitivity analysis to prepare for various economic conditions and mitigate potential risks, and some, which is nothing but these risk management. Okay, here we can, by systematically applying these principles and techniques, managers can make informed and rational decisions that which will align with the firm's strategic objectives and enhance its overall performances. Okay, and coming to next unit, which is the firm stakeholders objectives and its decision issues. Here, coming to the introduction of this, generally the concept of firm, generally it will encompasses a wide array of elements that which will contribute its operations and success. Among all these elements, stakeholders objectives and decision issues plays a very much crucial roles. By understanding these components, it is very much essential for the firm's dynamics and ensuring its sustained growth and development within the organizations. So, what is stakeholders? So, stakeholders are individuals or groups that have an interest or stakes in the firm's activities and their outcomes. They can be classified into internal and external stakeholders. Okay. So, this is nothing but second unit's introduction. Coming to the objectives of the firm. So, generally, the objectives of the firms will refers to the primary goal or purpose, which is guiding its actions and decisions. Here, the specific objective can vary depending on the nature of the firm, its industry, and its stakeholders. And some common objectives will be included within the firm. Let us know. The first one is profit maximization. Already I have said you, the profit maximization is a traditional economic theory which will suggest that the primary goal of the firm is to maximize profits. We all are know that, we all are know that every company, every organization, every firms, the main primary goal is to earn profit, isn't it? So, generally, these objective will focuses on generating revenue in excess of the cost. So, which is nothing but the profit maximization, the main objective of the every firm. Okay. Next one is market share growth. Here, the firms may aim to increase their market share, that which can lead to higher sales volumes, and potentially greater profits. Is nothing but market share growth. Later, our very important customer satisfaction. Here, prioritizing the customer satisfaction. It can be lead to repeated business and positive word of mouth referrals and some long term loyalty is nothing but the customer satisfaction. And fourth one is employee well-being. Here some firms which will prioritize the well-being and satisfaction of the employees, believing that happy employees are more productive and contribute to the firm success. Definitely. Next one is social responsibility. many modern firms which will incorporate social responsibilities into their objectives, and also aiming to some make positive contributions towards society and the environment. And innovative firms may prioritize innovation to some stay competitive, and also to develop new products or services, and to adapt to changing market conditions. So every firm needs to adapt these innovation. It will plays a very major role also. And last one is long term sustainability. Here generally the company will focus on long term sustainability, which will aim to ensure that their continuous existence, and also to success over time, to often by balancing some short term gains with long term variability. Okay, these are the specific objectives of a company or firm, which will depend on its industry and competitive landscapes and some regulatory environments, and the values of its stakeholders. Okay, coming to next one, which is value maximization. Here, what is value maximization? Generally, the value maximization is a concept which will closely related to the profit maximization, but with a broader perspective. While profit maximization focuses on solely on maximizing the financial returns to the shareholders, but the value maximization will considers the interest of the stakeholders, including the some shareholders and employees, customers, suppliers, and all the community. Okay, so value maximization generally suggests that the firm should strive to increase the several value or create for the stakeholders. These can include generating some profits for shareholders, providing the competitive wages and some benefits for the employees, and offering some quality products and services to the customers, as well as maintaining fair and ethical relationships with the suppliers. And it will also contributing the positively to the community and the environment. Here, in essence, generally value maximization will takes a more holistic approach to business, recognizing that long term success is not solely determined by the financial gains only, but also by the firm's impact on society and its ability to create a sustainable value for all the stakeholders. Okay, here let us tell a simple example of the value maximization that can be seen in a local bakery. Generally, the bakery owner focuses on the maximizing value for all the stakeholders, including customers, employees, and the community. Here, coming to the customer value. Okay, uh, the bakery offers high quality of products or affordable prices, making ensuring that customer satisfaction. They also provide excellent customer service, creating a positive experience for every customer, which is nothing but customer value. Okay, here we are providing a good and better services to the customer, which is we are making a value, we are maximizing the value of our bakery. Okay, next one is employee value, and also the same bakery will treat its employees well-being, and also paying fair wages and providing some supportive work environment. These leads to the happy employees who are motivated to deliver great services. Okay, as well as here the value maximization is applied to the employees also. And coming to the community value, the bakery will contributes to the community by sourcing ingredients locally, so reducing its carbon footprint and supporting local charities and some events. These builds a positive reputation and strengthens the community ties within the local markets and everywhere. Okay, so here all these things are the maximizing value. Okay, next one is financial value. So, what is financial value? Means by focusing on customer satisfaction and employee well-being and company's involvement. The bakery attracts more customers and retains loyal employees, and also it will make a more brand value. These will all these process will ultimately leads to increase the sales and profitabilities. Generally, in these examples, the bakery will demonstrate how value maximization can be achieved by creating value for all stakeholders, not just only shareholders, and by considering the long term impact of its actions on the community and the environment is nothing but value maximization. For every each and every company or organization, or for any every new entrepreneur, for every business everywhere, how the how the profit maximization is important, as the same way the value maximization also will plays a beautiful role and crucial role. Okay, coming to the next one. Here are the some of the alternative objectives of the firm. Okay, apart from these profit and value maximization, company generally can have some alternative objectives based on their specific goals, values, and the context in which they operate. Okay, here are some of the alternative objectives which you can see in the PPT. Okay, first one is revenue growth. Here the firms may prioritize increasing revenue as a primary objective. These could involve expanding into two markets, introducing new products or services, or acquiring competitors, which is nothing but the revenue growth. And market share and leadership. Becoming a market leader in terms of market share can be a strategic objective for some firms. Okay, these may involve aggressive pricing strategies and marketing campaigns and product innovations to attract the customers from the competitors, is nothing but the market share leadership. Next objective is product quality excellence. The firms may focus on delivering the high quality products or within their industries. Here, these can lead to customers' loyalty, positive brand perceptions, and also competitive advantage. Is product quality excellence. So providing a better and perfect quality to the customers. Next, customer satisfaction. We all are now ensuring high level of customer satisfaction can be a primary objective for the firms. These can lead to repeat business and positive word of mouth referrals. This is nothing but customer satisfaction, making customer satisfied through our product. Employee welfare. Some firms will prioritize the well-being and development of their employees. These can include providing competitive salaries and also benefits, generally opportunities for career growth. All these are the, and a positive work environment. Okay, next coming to the corporate social responsibilities, which is CSR. Firms may have a strong commitment to CSR, aiming to make a positive impact on society and the environment. These can include sustainability initiatives and philanthropy and some ethical business practices, which is CSR. Okay. Innovation and technology leaderships. Here, the firms firstly will prioritize the innovation and aim to be leaders in adopting new technologies and developing the innovative products which can help them stay ahead of competitors and meet the changing customer needs. And we all are know the risk management. Here, managing risks effectively, which can be a key objective for firms, especially in industries with high levels of uncertainty. These can involve diversifying the operations and hedging against financial risks and making and ensuring that compliance with regulations. Generally, these alternative objectives, all these alternative objectives can coexist with, or even complement, or profit or value maximization. All these will depending on the firm's strategic priorities and the context in which it will be operates. Okay, this is nothing but the alternative objectives of the firm. Next, next come to firm's constraints. Here, here in whenever for every company we are making any decisions means generally the firms takes place under some several restrictions or constraints, such as you can see here, resource constraints, legal constraints, moral constraints, and contractual constraints. All these constraints will be restricted to take a decision making. So what does those generally? Resource constraints means many inputs may be available in a limited or fixed quantity. Example, skilled workers, imported raw materials, etc. Coming to legal constraints. Here, the both individuals and firms have to obey the laws of the state as well as local laws. So, environmental laws, employment laws, disposable of wastages are some of the examples for these legal constraints. Coming to moral constraints, these will imply to actions that which are not illegal but are sufficiently consistent with generally accepted standards of the behavior. Next one is contractual constraints. These will bind the firms because of some prior agreement, such as long-term lease on a building or a contract with the labor union that represents the firm's employees, which is nothing but contractual constraints. Next important topic is coming to the equimarginal principle. Okay. So what is this equimarginal principle? Generally, this is also known as a principle of maximum satisfaction or the law of substitution. Generally, it is an economic concept that which is used to determine the optimal allocation of the resources. The principles that state to maximize utility or satisfaction. A rational decision maker should allocate resources in such a way that the marginal utility per unit of resources is equal for all users. Here are some key points are there for this equimarginal principle. You can see marginal utility. So what is marginal utility means? It will refers to the additional utility or satisfaction that a customer derives from consuming one additional unit of a good or the service. It is measured by the change in the total utility when one more unit is consumed, is nothing but marginal utility. Next is diminishing marginal utility. Here, the principle of diminishing marginal utility states that as a consumer consumes more of the good or service, then the marginal utility derived from each additional unit decreases. This forms the basis for the equimarginal principle. Next one is optimal allocation. According to the equimarginal principles, a consumer should allocate their resources such as money or time in such a way that the marginal utility per unit of resources equal across all users. Okay, this will ensure that the customer is maximizing their total utility or satisfaction and decision making. Here, the equimarginal principle is used by consumers to make a decisions about how to allocate their resources among different goods, and it will helps them determine the optimum mix of the goods and services that which will maximize their overall satisfaction. You take an example and let us consider a consumer who has a certain amount of money to spend on the two goods, which is first one is books and the next one is movies. So the consumer should allocate their money in such a way that the marginal utility per dollar spent on books is equal to the marginal utility per dollar spent on movies. So this will ensure that the consumer is maximizing their total utility from the combination of books and movies. Here, overall, the equi-marginal principle is a useful tool for decision making in economics, helping consumers and producers allocate resources efficiently to maximize satisfaction or profit. Okay, this is nothing but the equi-marginal principles. Next one is the discounting principle. So what is the discounting principle is? It is also known as the time value of the money. We can say it as the time value of the money. So it is a mainly fundamental concept in finance and the economics. Generally, it will based on the idea that a dollar will receive in the future is worth less than the dollar received today due to the opportunity cost of not having that money available for investment or some consumption immediately. There are some key points also, therefore this discounting principle includes. First one is you can see in the screen, which is present value. Here the discounting principle is used to calculate the present value of the future cash flows. This is done by discounting the future cash flows back to their present value using a discount rate. So coming to the discount rates, here the discount rate is the rate used to calculate the present value of future cash flows, which will reflect the time value of money, isn't it? And the risk associated with the cash flows. The discount rate is typically based on the cost of the capital or the rate of return required by an investor, is nothing but the discount rate. Coming to next one, NPV, which is net present value. So here the discounting principle is used to calculate the NPV, which is investment or project. So the NPV here is the difference between the present value and cash flows and the present value of outflows. Okay, which is associated with the investment. In a positive, NPV indicates that the investment is expected to generate a return greater than the discount rate or not, making it a viable investment. Next is decision making. Here the decision making is a financial decision making to compare the value of cash flows at different points in each time by discounting future cash flows back to their present value. So decision makers can determine whether an investment or project is financially viable or not. Take a example of you were offered $1,000 today or $1,000 one year from now. So now you would likely choose to receive the money today, which is because the $1 received today can be invested or used immediately. Whereas the $1,000 received in the future is subject to the risk of inflation and has to opportunity cost associated with not being available for use today. So overall, the discounting principle, it is a key concept in finance and economics that which will helps to quantify the value of future cash flows and making informed decisions about investments and products. Okay, this is nothing but the discounting principle. So next one is opportunity cost principle. Generally, this opportunity cost principle, this is also a fundamental concept in economics that which will refers to the value of the next best alternative forgone when a decision is made to pursue a particular course of action. In other words, we can say it as it is the cost of choosing one option over another and representing the benefits that could be gained by choosing the next best alternative is nothing but the opportunity cost. Here, some of these key points are there in some opportunity cost. The first one is you can see in the screen scarcity of resources. Here, the opportunity cost means the principle arises from the basic economic problems of scarcity, which means the resources are limited compared to unlimited wants and needs of the every individual and also as well as society. Here, in this, it will as a result of choosing must be made about to how allocate resources will make efficiently. So coming to comparative analysis, it will determine by comparing the benefits of the chosen option within the benefits of the next best alternative. It is not necessary for the monetary cost of the alternative, but generally it will make the value that would have been derived from choosing that next alternative. Coming to implicit cost, it will include implicit cost, which are the costs associated with using some resources that are not explicitly paid. For example, the opportunity cost of using a piece of land for farming is the value that could have been generated by using the land for another purpose, such as building or some residential properties. This is nothing but implicit cost and decision making. In the opportunity cost, the principle is important in decision making because it helps in every individuals and businesses to evaluate the trade-offs and which is involved in choosing one option over another by considering the opportunity cost of different choices. Decision makers can make more informed decisions that maximizes benefits and minimizes cost. You take an example. Let us assume that consider a student who has to choose between studying for an exam or going to a concert. If the student chooses to go to the concert, the opportunity cost is the potential grade that could have been achieved by studying for the exam. Similarly, if a business decides to invest in a new project, the opportunity cost is the potential return that could have been earned by investing in the different projects or financial instruments. So here overall, the opportunity cost principle is a crucial concept in economics that which will highlight the importance of considering the alternatives and different trade-offs which is involved in decision makings. And also it will help in individuals and businesses to make more rational and efficient choices in allocating the resources. This is nothing but the opportunity cost principle. Next one is opportunity set. Generally, in managerial economics, the opportunity set will refers to the range of choices which is available to an individual or to a company or to a firm or to any organizations for allocating the resources in order to achieve their different types of objectives. It will represent all possible combinations of goods and services that which can be obtained with the resource availability and which is given the prices of those goods. The concept of these opportunity set is fundamental in analyzing the decision making process and also making in resource allocations and trade-offs in various economic scenarios. Here, mm, 1 minute. Yeah. You take an example of You consider a simple example of an individual deciding how to allocate their monthly incomes between two goods, coffee and tea. Let us assume the individual has a monthly income of $100 and the prices of coffee and tea is 5 rupees per coffee and 2 rupees per tea. Okay. Here the opportunity set in this case would be all the combinations of coffee and tea that the individual can purchase given their income and the prices. So the individual can purchase with their income given the prices. The individual can choose only combination from these set based on the preferences and budget constraints. Okay. Next, coming to variables and constraints. So generally these are the fundamental concepts in mathematics and also in programming. They are also very much important in managerial economics also. So in mathematical programming, the variable is a symbol or a letter that which will represents the value that can change. So it is used to store the data in a program or to represent an unknown value in an equation. For example, in the equation you can see in the screen, equation mx plus b, y and x are the variables. Okay, a constraint is a value that does not change. It is used to represent fixed values in equation or some programs. You can see in the screen in the equation for the areas of circle, a is equals to pi r 2. Okay, here pi is a constant. So in these managerial economics, variables are used to represent the quantities that which can be changed, such as price, quantity, or some revenue, profit, cost. All these are the variables which will use it in economic models to analyze the different types of relationships and to make predictions. And coming to constants, these are the used to represent fixed variables such as the fixed cost of production, the price of raw materials, or the maximum capacity of the production facility. Constants are more important in economic analysis to understand the impact of changes in variables on fixed aspects of a business. So here constants are the fixed cost and variables are the variable cost. So generally the variables will changing the values while constants will represent the fixed values, and both are very much important in programming, mathematics and economic contexts also. So coming to the derivatives in managerial economics. So derivatives is financial derivatives. How these financial derivatives is related to the managerial economics. Here, derivatives also plays a some of the crucial role in analyzing how changes in one variable will affect the another variable. Especially in derivatives are used to measure the rate of change of one variable with respect to another variable. The most two common types of derivatives used in managerial economics is marginal cost and marginal revenue. Here, marginal cost will represent as a MC. So, marginal cost is the derivative of the total cost of function with respect to the quality of output produced. Generally, it will represents the additional cost incurred by producing one more unit of output. So, we can express it as a MC is equals to d of Tc by dq. Okay. Next, coming to the sorry, here marginal cost is the, it is also a, so we can assume that MC is equals to marginal cost, and TC is equals to total cost, and Q is equals to quantity of outputs. Okay. Next, marginal revenue, which is MR. Here, marginal revenue is the derivative of the total revenue function with respect to the quantity of output sold. So, it represents the additional revenue earned by the selling one more unit of output. It is expressed as the MR is equals to DTR by DQ. Okay. Here we know that MR is marginal revenue and TR is total revenue. Q is equals to quantity of outputs. For a linear demand curve, marginal revenue is also equal to the slope of the demand curve. So here derivatives are used in marginal economics to optimize the production and pricing decisions. By analyzing the relationship between marginal cost and marginal revenue, firm can determine the optimal level of output and pricing strategies that which will maximizes the profit. Okay. So I will show you example. Yes, here you can see the example of, so please take a look for 2 minutes. Here you can see example. Suppose a company manufactures and sells a product at the price of $10 per unit, and the total cost of producing Q units of the product is given by the function. So the formula is, you can see in the PPT. Take a look for 2 minutes. Okay, then we'll go to another topic. Okay, take a screenshot, and now I'm going to another topic. So next one is optimizing concept. Here, generally these will involve in finding the best possible solutions from all feasible solutions. Here in managerial decision makings, optimization often will revolves around maximizing profits and minimizing the cost or achieving some other specific objectives. So, maximizing, we all are know that it is a common goal in maximizing profits for every company. This will involve finding the level of output or the combination of inputs that results in the highest profit. You take an example, the company may need to determine how many units of product is to be produced to maximize its profit, considering the factors such as production cost and also selling prices and market demand, like this. So minimizing, so we all know that for every company's aim is to minimize the cost or expenses. So minimizing cost is the another common objective. These could involve in minimizing production cost or transportation cost or any other cost which is relevant to decision at hand. Like a transportation company may need to minimize the fuel cost by determining the most cost effective routes for its vehicles, isn't it? So this is nothing but the minimization. And constraint optimization. Definitely, in many real world scenarios, there are many constraints are there that which will limit the feasible solutions. For example, a company may have limited resources such as labor, capital, or raw materials. In such cases, the optimization will involve finding the best solution that which will satisfy these constraints. So this is nothing but constraint optimization. Next, mathematical optimization techniques. So optimization problems are more solved using mathematical techniques such as uh, calculus, linear programming, or other optimization algorithms. These techniques will help to find out the optimal solution by analyzing the relationship between some variables and the constraints. So, applications in decision making. Optimizing concepts that which are applied in various areas of managerial economics, including production planning or inventory management, pricing strategies, and resource allocations. By optimizing decisions, firms can improve efficiently, and also it will reduce its cost and enhance profitabilities. All these happens in these applications in decision making. So, coming to the regression analysis. Here, the regression analysis is generally a statistical method which is used in managerial economics to understand the relationship between dependent variable and the one or more independent variables. Okay, so it helps in modeling and forecasting as well as in understanding the impact of changes in independent variables on the dependent variable. Okay, so generally how it works. Coming to dependent variable, which is assume with, you can assume with y. So this is the variable you want to predict or explain. For example, in a study of sales data, sales could be the dependent variable. Okay. Next, coming to independent value, x1 and x2. These are the variables that which are used to predict or explain the dependent variable. For example, in the same example, in a sales data study, the dependent variables could be advertising expenditure or price or some competitor's price. Okay. Next, regression equation. Here, the relationship between the dependent and independent variable is represented by a regression equation. For a simple linear regression with the one independent variable, the equation look like uh, the equation is like y is equals to beta 0 plus beta 1x plus infinity. Okay. Next, coming to regression analysis steps. Here, there are some of the steps are there in this regression analysis. First one is to collect and organize the data. Next one is to specify the regression model. Example, simple linear regression and multiple linear regressions. Next one is to estimate the parameters that which will intercept and slopes using statistical software and evaluate the model's goodness of fit. For example, R squared, adjusted R squared. Test the significance of the independent variables. Example, T test, F test. So interpret the results and making predictions based on the model. So next one is types of regression. How many types of regressions is there? You can see in the screen 4 types of regressions is there. First one is simple linear regression. Here, what is simple linear regression means one dependent variable and one independent variable will be there. In multilinear regression, one dependent variable will be there and multiple independent variables will be there. And coming to in logistics regressions, used when it will be used when the dependent variable is binary. Example, yes or no or 1 or 0, like this. And coming to non-linear regressions, it is used when the relationships between variables is not linear. So the regression analysis is a powerful tool for decision making in managerial economics, as it allows managers to understand and predict how changes in variable will affect their business outcomes. Okay. Next topic is fourth unit. Wait. Fourth unit is demand and revenue analysis. Generally, these demand and revenue analysis are very crucial components of business strategies and market understanding. Here, demand analysis is typically involves in studying the consumer behavior or preferences and some trends to forecast the quantity of goods or services so that customers are willing to purchase at various prices. These analyses may help businesses understand the market potentials for their products and make informed decisions about pricing, production, and marketing strategies. Coming to revenue analysis. Revenue analysis will focuses on the income generated from sales of goods. So it involves in analyzing the pricing strategies and sales volume and market share to maximize the revenue. Generally, businesses will use revenue analysis to identify the profitable product lines and to optimize the pricing strategies and forecast future revenue streams. Okay, so together, demand and these revenue analysis will provide valuable insights into market dynamics, customer preferences, and also competitive positionings, helping business will make informed decisions to drive growth and profitability. Okay. Next one is demand function. Generally, the demand function is a economic represents the relationship between the quantity demanded of a good or service and its determinants such as price, income, and the prices of related goods. It is typically presented as you can see in the screen. P is equals to F, P, Y, and PR. Okay, this is the formula for this. So Q is equals to F of P, Y, and PR. Here, Q is the quantity of demanded, and P is the price of the goods and services. Y is the incomes of the consumer. PR represents to the prices of related goods. So, other variables may also be included depending on the some specific factors affecting to demand. Generally, these demand function can be expressed in various functional forms such as linear, logarithms, or exponentials, depending on the nature of the relationship between quantity demanded and its determinants. It is a fundamental concept in the economics used to analyze the consumer behavior and predict the market outcomes and inform some pricing and production decisions. Okay, here you can see the one of the example of these demand functions. So please go through it. Okay, take a screenshot of this example. Later, by applying this formula, you go through this problem. Okay. Another important topic is the law of demand. Okay, please wait. So, the law of demand. For the most goods, consumers are willing to purchase more units at a lower price than the higher price. We all are know that this is called inverse relationship between price and the quantity consumers will buy is so widely, which is observed that it is called the law of demand. So the law of demand is the rule that people will buy more at lower prices than the higher prices if all other factors are more constant. Okay, this idea of the law of demand seems to be a pretty logical and also accurate description of the behaviors we would all experts to observe, and for now these will So it will states the consumer are willing and able to purchase more units of the good at the lower prices than the higher prices. Other things all being equal. So here, for nearly all goods and services, two influences will be there, which is known as the income effect and the substitution effect. For particularly important in explaining the negative slope of the demand function. So you can see here demand curve also. Okay. So the income effects is the influence of the change in the product's price on real income or purchasing power. If the power of something that will buy goes down, our income will go up further and we can purchase more goods and services, including the goods that which will price has been fallen with a given level of money income. So the substitution effect is the influence of reduction in a product's price. Okay, 1 minute. Isn't it? Here, the concept of these demand is often depicted in a graphical model, as you can see in PPT. As a demand curve, the demand curve is the graphic illustration of the relationship between these price and the quantity purchased at each price level. So, when plotting a graph of demand, the price is measured along with the vertical axis also, and the quantities that would be purchased at various prices are measured along the horizontal axis. The demand curve shows the relationship between the own price of the good of the quantity demanded of it. So you can see in the demand curve whenever you can see here demand schedule. So take an example of onions. So the onions price would be 90, 70, 50, 30 and 10. Whenever the onions would be 90, the cost is increased up to 90, then the customer or consumer will buy only the 40 units of the or 40 cases of the onions. So whenever the price is reduced up to 70, then the consumer will buy 120, so he can afford, isn't it? So like this is nothing but the demand law of demand schedule. Okay. So whenever the price is decreased for the each product, then it is the peak time. The consumer behavior will be like the price is decreased, so that we need to buy a more quantity of the product. This relationship between price and demand is nothing but the law of demand. Okay. Next topic. So next topic is determinants of demand. Generally, these determinants of demand refers to a factors that which will influence the quantity of goods that the consumers are willing and able to purchase at the various different types of prices. Here, some of the determinants are there. All these determinants will be included in purchasing. Okay, price of the good. So whenever the price of the good or services may changes, it will directly affects the quantity demanded. Generally, as a price decreases, quantity demands will be increases and make it vice versa, assuming other factors also remains same. Okay, coming to income. So changes in income, changes in consumers' income can also be an impact of demand for goods, for normal goods such as like whenever the income increases, demand also will increases. For inferior goods, or as income increases, then the demand also increases. So the determinants income also a one of the determinant for the purchasing power of the consumer. Whenever the consumer's income raises, automatically his purchasing power also raises, and automatically it leads to the product demand and buying more quantity of the same product or some other groceries like that, okay, or some inferior goods or luxurious goods, coming to the prices of related goods. So whenever the demand for the one good can also be influenced by the prices of related goods, these are, we can say it as a substituted goods. You can take a tea or coffee. Say for example, if the coffee is, the tea, the two packets is contained and the coffee is around 100 rupees and the tea is which is available within 20 rupees, but we can taste the some of the similar factors in these two, okay, these are substitute goods. The customer is more willing to buy the tea powder. So this is nothing but prices of the related good. Whenever the price of product A will be increased, then will automatically shift to the product B, which is very much related to our purchasing power. This is the one of the best determinant. And coming to the another determinant, which is consumer preferences and taste. Obviously, every consumer will have different types of taste and different types of preferences. So changes in consumer preferences and taste can also affect the demand. For example, if there is a trend towards healthier eating, then the demand for organic food may be increased. This is nothing but the consumer preferences and taste. Coming to expectations. So each and every consumer will have different types of expectations for different types of products. Here, consumer expectations about future prices, income, or availability of goods can also influence the current demand. For example, if the consumer expectation, the price of good is increased in the future, they may buy more of it now. For example, you take a gold bonds or some gold. Uh, for future prediction, or if the consumer will expected that the gold price will be increased in the future or increased in upcoming one month, means then the consumer will buy the gold now itself, isn't it? This is the future expectations. And number of consumers. So the total demand for the good or services is influenced by the number of consumers in the market. So more consumers generally lead to higher demand. So you can see in the PPT, the first one, which is figure 4.3a, which will show you the increased demand, and 4.3b will show the decreased demand. So here quantity demanded, here also quantity demanded and price demand, difference between the price demand and quantity demand, okay. So automatically these determinants will, all these six determinants will interact to the shape of the overall demand for the goods or services within the marketing. So by understanding these factors is very much crucial for any business or any policy makers to make the informed decisions about pricing, production, marketing strategies, etc. Okay. Hope you clear with determinants of demand. Hmm. With this, we have completed our 4 units. Okay. From fifth unit onwards, we'll continue with next class. Thank you.